Hello and welcome to my channel, My Garden, My Passion. In my earlier video, I spoke about the difference between cacti and succulents. This time, I thought let me talk about the soil mixture. But before that, let me tell you that I have been successfully growing cactus and succulents since 30 to 40 years now, and I still have some of them. However, here I am showing you some of the recent cacti and succulents that I have arranged on this shelf. But there are some cacti and succulents which have lasted me for even 30 years now. So there are many factors that contribute to good growing or successfully cultivating cactus and succulents, and one of the basic factor is the soil mix. Often we hear people saying that I bought from the nursery and then my plant did not survive. So we should know that in the nursery they use more of coco peat, and that is not so suitable for growing of cacti. So we need to transfer them to another pot and have the right potting mix. Now I will show you what is the secret of my potting mix. In fact, it's not a secret, it's just that I use very common day-to-day ingredients that are very easily available. So coming to my potting mix. For cactus and succulent, the potting mix should be a soil that permits a lot of aeration, and it should be fast draining. There are two reasons why you require these two qualities. One thing is that these plants are fleshy and have water holding capacity. So if the soil mixture has more moisture and is dense, then there will be root rot. And then the second reason is that the roots of both this cacti and succulent are very fragile and delicate, and so they need to easily grow into the soil. That is why it should be highly porous and lightweight. If it is dense, it will not only prevent the roots from entering the soil, it will also hold a lot of moisture and set root rot. So these are the two reasons why you need to have a highly aerated type of soil, and it should be fast draining. When you come to potting soil, I always say that there are as many potting soil mixtures as there are recipes of sambars of grandmothers, the masalas. So each one has their own recipe and each one swears by them, saying that they have worked for them. I don't deny that, but for me, I will tell you what has worked, and I have used this soil for the cacti and succulents, and they will last at least for 3 years without fertilization or without repotting. So now let me come to my potting mix. I do not use perlite or pumice, or I have to buy something. So my mantra for potting mix is 2 parts of sand. Sand is for aeration, and it allows the roots also to penetrate easily. 1 part is red soil, and 1 part is some compost. It can be vermicompost, it can be cow dung manure, or ordinary regular compost what you get from your kitchen. So it is 2 parts of sand, 1 part of red soil, and 1 part of compost. And to this I will add a little bit of neem cake. So here I have bought some neem pellets. You get them in different forms. You get them in powder, but I got these pellets, and since the potting mix it might not absorb all of it, I have made powder of the pellets, and I plan to add about 10% of this as neem cake. Neem cake not only adds nutrients to the soil, but it prevents root rot and other soil-borne diseases. So I have added about 10% of neem cake, and then I will mix this soil. So when you mix the soil, you will know it is very, like you can feel it in your hands because of the more sand you have. It should not be dense with lots of soil. So this is the potting soil. For my other plants I use 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. That is 1/3 soil, 1/3 sand and 1/3 of compost with a little fungicide or neem cake. But for cactus I put 50% of sand and 25 each. And this has worked perfectly fine for me. So here I have made a lot of this potting soil and kept to grow my cacti and succulents. So here I have this cactus and I have a beautiful succulent here which is purplish color or pink color, and I have been growing them in these small pots for the past 3 years, and I have neither fertilized them nor have I repotted them. Since they are shallow rooted, I don't need to repot them and they will not get pot bound. So I have used this potting soil and this is how they grow. So I recommend using this 2 parts of sand, 1 part of compost and 1 part of red soil. Here in Dharwad we have red soil, so I use red soil, whereas you can use whatever garden soil you regularly get in your area. And you also get these potting mixes in the market or online. I don't use them because I have a lot of plants and I need a lot of soil and it works out expensive for me. And one more important point is that the sand should be river sand, and if it is coarse also it is okay, but make sure you have river sand and not some beach sand or something, because that is not suited for growing. So potting soil with a lot of sand or any other this, you can also use perlite and pumice instead of sand, but that works out a little expensive. So this is how I have been successfully growing my cactus and succulents with this potting soil. I hope it helps you to grow your cactus and succulents also successfully. Happy gardening.